Judy, so I know we spoke on the phone
That's
in the
right.
past about some different stuff.
I've talked to everybody on the phone. I don't know what anybody looks like. This is very exciting. Oh, let's see.
Sorry.
So board members, I have 6 o'clock. Would you like me to run the meeting until we get to the election of the officers then?
Yes, please.
Okay, then we'll call the meeting to order with a roll call.
Trustee Gaffney.
Here.
Trustee Kennedy.
Here.
Trustee Manheim.
Here.
Trustee McManus.
Here.
Trustee Seifert.
Here.
Okay. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sorry.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on our agenda is public comment. Would anybody from the public like to speak this evening?
I have a public comment.
Yes, sir.
I'm John Karr, for I think the only trustee up there probably doesn't know me. Sorry, your name's McMahon or Manheim? Manheim. I was a trustee for 6 years.
It's gonna take it just a second for the
This is
storms.
the King County Office of Emergency Management. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern King County until 18:45 hours. Hazards include 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and hail less than 3/4 of an inch. Again, this is the King County Office of Emergency Management. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern King County.
Yep. You good? I'm here for a couple of reasons. I want to make some statements and address some things that my name was invoked by someone on the board, so I'm going to explain why that was. But first of all, I'd like to say, in 6 years of serving this district, I did everything I could to work with the board members to make this a better district. I also went to every continuing education seminar I could go to. Saw a lot of trustees there. TJ was at the last 3, Pam. A lot of great information. And a lot of solid information about what it takes to be a board member. And I'm here tonight to talk to you guys about being a board member. I'm not telling anybody how to be a board member. I'm just telling you what I feel a board member is. I heard about the last meeting, and I've heard a lot of things. I wasn't here for 6 years with my ears and my eyes closed. Too much shit is being said, and too many things that are inappropriate are maybe being attempted to be done. So let me explain what a board member is supposed to be based on all my education that I went to, and Tracy has all the records of every seminar I went to. Number one, in my opinion, your job up there and my job was to be a planner, be an architect for the district. You're watching the taxpayers' dollars. You are in charge of the next year, 5 years, 10 years. That's your job. That's what you're here for. That's what the taxpayers are counting on. Every single one of you has an obligation to make this a better place for our residents. And I'm a resident here, and I'm a taxpayer here. And I voted on a lot of stuff that was controversial about money, and I thought it was for the best of the district and for people who have families that live here in case there was accidents. When I came here, equipment was 36 years old, and people are fighting not to get new equipment. I thought it was insane to fight not to get new equipment. I went to the chief, I went to the then president, and I said, I want to do my own research and present it to the board. I did that, and lo and behold, before a referendum was done, we had a new engine based on the board, a new ambulance, and lo and behold, a new boat. I've always commented about how dangerous I think this river is, because I see how many young people are on that river, and I know there's a disaster coming on that river one day. I see it every time I cross it. So that boat was a big deal to me. Big deal, okay? One thing I didn't get in any of the information, and I listened to everything, the legal representation, which is the most dry and impossible stuff to get through when you're at these at continuing education. It's 4 hours of just wanting to rip your hair out, except for Denafo, who makes it pretty comical, I must add. But when the chief spoke, and they spoke about board members, they wore their hearts on their sleeves, and they talked about board members being there for the right reason. The right reason means not starting problems, not instigating problems, not saying stuff about people. I've talked to every board member that was on this board for 6 years. I can tell you 100% that there was only 2 board members I've ever spoke to in the 6 years I was here that brought up personal issues with people on this, not only on the board, employees of the district. Not looking out for the good of the district and planning 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance, like we're supposed to have the oversight to do, which is why you're elected. But no, personal vendettas, personal issues. I don't like what this person said to me. I don't like the way this person answered me. That was never taught to me in any of the continuing education. Neither was stacking a board to get votes to go the way you want it to go. I came here knowing no one. I was accused of knowing everyone. Didn't know one person on the board. The only person I'd ever spoke to before I joined this board, and the reason I ran for this board, happened to be the gentleman who I took the place of. And he wasn't leaving at the time. I met him at a political event. We hit it off. We spoke for 2 hours, and he said, hey, maybe someday you should think about it. Lo and behold, I believe he moved. And I said, you know what, I'm going to run for the district. I ran for the right reasons. Not to vote, not to say, hey, I want to get in here and get this guy out. I want to get in here and fire this person. I want to appoint myself to this. None of that. I came in here for the right reasons. To work with 4 other board members and get stuff done. And I did it every time I came in here. And Nick, my name came up to me, one meeting, I'm going one meeting, and my name comes up to me about a person being a cancer and saying that the chief said someone's a cancer. Nick, never, ever, ever in all the educational classes I got that they said a board member should be in there stirring the pot, razzing the fire department, getting people against each other, trying to get people out. There's a million issues in front of this board, and the reason I know that is because I was here for the last 6 years. And if you're a good architect and you're planning for the future and you're looking a year in advance and then 5 years in advance, you're talking to the right people. You're talking to the chief, you're talking to the deputy chief, you're asking them, when is the right time to get new rigs? I can tell you right now, it's not a good time, but I can tell you right now would be a great time to start talking about, hey, for the first time in our history, we've got new rigs. How long do we go out before we plan on getting ones? And can we have things rebuilt? Sutherland Sr. was the one that came to me and said, hey, you know what? Instead of getting new rigs, if we got good rigs, we should have some rebuilt. Okay, that's a great idea. Let's get that in front of the board and talk about it. It might be 5 years down the road. That is your job. Watch the dollars, plan 5 years, 10 years in advance. Drop all the bullshit about, let's get this guy out, let's get this guy out, let's play. Drop it all, because I've heard it all. And I'm telling you right now, if anyone wants to argue with me, you're not going to win. You're not going to win because it's being screamed from the rooftops. It's the worst kept secret in the western suburbs. You were elected to come here and do your job. Do your job. This is not meant for all you guys. I'm first of all, let me apologize for, some people are probably thinking, what's this guy talking about? Listen, this has got more to do with past history. So I apologize to people who are new on the board, okay? There's a lot of past history and there's a lot of nonsense. People are elected to do the taxpayers' work. That's what you're here for. Do not have nefarious ideas of getting rid of people and putting people out of their place. I'll tell you, before I left the board, I felt so strongly about this, I called that gentleman right there, John Modolinsky, and told him what I had heard. And I said, John, you're the attorney for this district. I hope you represent the district the right way, because this is being screamed from the rooftops, but it's a big secret what's going to happen. I want you to know what I'm being told. Not that I'm hearing, what people are walking up to me telling me from this department. Not board members, people who work here. There's people on this board who know what I'm talking about. It's gotta end. It's gotta end. You can shake your head, no, I don't care.
Well, you're looking at me.
Yeah, I am looking at
Yeah,
you. Yeah, I am,
you're
because you're one of the
incorrect in what
problems. 100% you're one of the problems. And this is my chance to speak. You're an elected official. I'm talking right now. It's public comment. You spoke at public comments the whole time I was in the let me talk. One of the things I want to hear tonight that I was part of is this investigation that's going on that I was accused of at the last meeting I was at as a treasurer of never bringing up the dollar amount, which I brought up every single meeting, which is on public record. I want to hear what that dollar amount's at tonight. Where are we at? How's that getting fit into the budget? An investigation that won't stop, won't end. I want to hear about that one tonight. I hope I hear about it. I also want to hear about business. Let's get business done. All right? Can we hear about business tonight? I hope. Please. For the taxpayers' sake. And I will tell you this. I'll be at these meetings. And I'll keep making public comments. And I'm going to keep speaking to all the taxpayers around me. Because any nefarious nonsense that goes on here that I see happening, I'm going to let everyone know, hey, don't give this district another dollar. You know, who does that hurt? These guys back here. The guys who were the hard-working guys. And believe me, I can sway people not to vote for a referendum much easier than I can get them to vote for a referendum. I fought like hell talking to people to get them to vote for a referendum. That takes work. Telling people not to spend the tax dollars doesn't take any effort at all. I can do that all day long. If the board isn't obligated to do the right things to keep making this department better, then I, unfortunately for these guys, will not support anything. And I will make it my absolute end-all to get in here and tell you people it ain't gonna happen. Not from the people I'm talking to. And I reach a lot of people. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak this evening? Anybody else for public comment? Going twice? Okay. Move then to our first item on the agenda, the swearing in of Trustee Nick Manheim. Ready? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nicholas Manheim,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
that
that I will support
I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United
of
States,
the United States,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances,
and the ordinances,
rules,
rules,
and regulations
and regulations
of the Fox River and Countryside Fire Rescue District,
of the Fox River and Countryside Fire Rescue District,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
of trustee
of trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Moving now to our reports. Financial report. I'll turn it over to Brad.
Right. Hey guys, for the benefit of the new members, my name is Bradley O'Sullivan. I'm part of the accounting group here. I'm in tonight for James Howard. And what I'm going to present right now is the financial analysis. We'll get this out to the board and every month, and we'll present this to you guys as an update of the financial analysis. And tonight we have the 1 month ended May 31st, 2025 financial analysis. It's up on the screen behind you guys. I believe there might be a paper copy in your packet.
It was emailed.
Okay. All right, so on the first slide, we start off with the revenue highlights for the district. And up in the right-hand corner, you can see 1 month in represents 8% of the district's budget year, and so far the district's received 5% of the total budget amount of revenues. $251,000 received in property tax for the month of May, and that's 5% of the budgeted property taxes. No major installment yet. We'll see that in the June financials. Ambulance fees collected for the month of May, $112,000, and that is 7% of the ambulance fee budget. Nothing in for replacement taxes for the month of May, and interest collected $13,000, or 7% of budget, and nothing for debt proceeds or the sale of assets for the month. This next slide shows you the revenue categories for the district. The left-hand column shows you the total actual for the month of May. That will be the year-to-date amount as we move out through the year. The budget column there is in the middle, percent of the budget, and then comparison in the green there to the last year with a percentage of an increase or a decrease. So the top line there is your property tax category, $251,000 received, as I mentioned. Received for the month of May, and that is 5% of that $5.2 million budget. You can see $310,000 received in the month of May last year, and that's down 19% from the prior month, or prior year. Below that's the interest income, $13,000 received in May, that's 7% of the $210,000 budget. $12,000 received in the month of May of last year, and that's up 12% from the prior year. Ambulance fees in the middle of the page, $112,000 received, and that's 7% of the $1.6 million budget in ambulance fees. $99,000 received in May of last year puts the district up 13% in ambulance fees. All said and done for revenue there, the total for the month, $379,000, that's that 5% of that $7.2 million budget, down 11% from where we were this time last year. This next slide shows you a revenue distribution chart showing you for the first month that property taxes make up 66% of the district's revenues, with ambulance fees in the orange making up 30% of the district's revenues for the month. Here's your ambulance collection schedule by month and with history for the last 2 fiscal years. For the month of May of this fiscal year 26, $112,000 as I mentioned. You can see $99,000 received in the month of May for FY25, $63,000 in the month of May for FY24. I can do this math for that 1 month average of $112,000. And you can see the 12-month averages for FY25 and 24 of $105,000 and $107,000. Moving on to the expenditure side of the ledger, through 8% of the year, 10% of the total budget has been expended. 5% of the operating budget has gone out the door. The salaries and contract category is at 5% of budget, including 2 of the 26 payrolls. The contractual services at 7% of budget, vehicle maintenance and fuel at 4% of budget, and 14% of the capital outlay has been expended, with $997,000 going to the architectural services for Station 3. Here's the expenditure categories for the district. The top line there is your personnel category through 8% of the year. This category is at 5% of budget. $322,000 expended in the month of May last year. We're down 34% in personnel. All of our categories here are at or below the 8% mark. The contractual services there at 7% of budget. But our total actual operating expenditures for the month of May total $253,000. That's 5% of that $5.1 million budget. And you can see down 25% from the prior year. Similar to the revenue distribution chart, this is an expenditure distribution chart showing you for the month that personnel makes up 84% of the district's expense, and contractual services there in the orange making up 13%. We call this the revenue and expenditure and fund balance slide for the first month ended May 31st, 2025. After all that revenue and all that expense, you can see the first line there is the surplus and or deficit for our operating funds going across, reading left to right. Without a major installment of property tax, you can see the deficit for the month/year at $881,000. The beginning fund balance is right below that at $6.6 million. And after applying the deficit to that, that leaves the district with an ending fund balance at the end of May of $5.7 million. This slide shows you the revenue and operations without any debt service or capital expenditures. This is all just operating revenue and expense, and showing you the past 2 fiscal years with comparison to 25, and it shows the consistency there of the district's operations. And then last but not least is your cash and where it's at. The total balance of all of the district's accounts at the end of May totaled $5.4 million. With that red portion showing you that 57% of that cash is being made up in the Barrington Bank Capital Money Market account, earning 4.56%. And that is your May report, everybody. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Brad?
Yep.
If there are no questions, next up is Chief.
Okay, big news for June is Station 3. We just had a real big event the other day. ComEd has finally turned the power on to the building. We have a powered building. That means air conditioning, that means water, and everything. We are in the home stretch. Still got a little bit more to work on. I know Jim was putting out some spot fires today and handling some of those last minute details, but things are coming along very well. I don't think we're going to make August 1st, but I don't think it's going to be very much beyond that. So stay tuned. We'll let you know how things come along. In the staffing category, we did unfortunately receive a resignation from one of our firefighter paramedics, Brandon Contreras, for personal reasons. He just moved on to bigger and better things. And the big one, Lieutenant Ed McGarry has announced his retirement after approximately 7.5 years, effective July 25th. So if you see Ed, wish him well and tell him thank you for his service. In public education and fire prevention, we had a couple of events, 2 touch-a-truck events. We visited a summer camp at Wayne School, and we visited the summer event Horsepower on Route 25. Fire Prevention Bureau, pretty average month. We did 9 company inspections, 14 re-inspections, a couple fire alarm tests, fire alarm meeting with the Village of Campton Hills. Inspection at the Kane County Jail was a pretty big deal, and we put in 20 fire signs. For the fleet, a lot of maintenance on several of our vehicles. Some warranty repairs on the new ambulance, just iron out some of the bugs that came on that new vehicle. Maintenance and new tires on ambulance 52, and radio installed on the new engine. That engine right now is almost ready to go. We still have to get system and state inspections for it. Once those are complete and passed, it will be fully ALS and ready to be put in service. Yeah. And for training, big month, we had firefighter paramedic Anthony Marcaselli passed his national paramedic exam, so he is fully ready to go. We also had 2 other members complete their paramedic class. Firefighter EMT Ryan Feely and firefighter EMT Jason Rush. And then a little bit of bad news. We had a problem with our water heater at Station 1. Unfortunately, it was a catastrophic problem. We did have to order a new water heater. Any questions for me?
I have a question regarding, actually, it's the expenditures for past month. On here it says garage door repair at Delaware Hospital. Can you explain what that's all about?
Do you want me to address that now, or when we get to the invoices section? Okay, I'll address it now. So we had one of our ambulances pulling into the bay hit the door. They did some damage to the bay door there. It was completely our fault, undeniable. We paid for the repairs. The repairs were done at Delnor, and it will be submitted to insurance for reimbursement.
Was there any damage done to the?
Our ambulance was unscathed.
Well, that happens.
Yes.
The other question I have, since we don't have a treasurer, how are we with the costs of Station 3 right now? Are we still on?
Still on track. I mean, I'm not sure I know how to answer that question. They send us a monthly bill.
Are we kind of within what we had talked about?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we're still within what we talked about.
Okay.
It really varies from month to month. This past month, we had a lot of larger expenses. Next month, who can say? It might not have as many.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Chief. Moving on to the attorney's report, that would be me. I only have a light report for you this evening. The General Assembly is now out of session. They did pass a few bills that impact the fire service somewhat, and we're now looking to see which one of those become law. Likely these are going to be bills that are of sufficient high profiledness where the governor will actually take pen to paper to the bill. What happens, generally speaking, is that the governor doesn't do anything to them, doesn't veto them within 60 days, and after 60 days they become law, they come on the books. So we'll wait for the dust to settle on that, and I'll come back to you with a more thorough report on what survived. All right, we'll do items D and E together. Any trustees' reports this evening?
Are we gonna need Brad? Are we gonna need you later?
It's up to you guys.
Is there any need for him to?
I would say it depends on what the board chooses to do with the budget. If we're going to work on that tonight, I would prefer Brad stay until
Sure.
that's done.
Yeah.
If no action is taken tonight, I would think Brad, you're probably okay.
I have no comments.
Any other trustees with reports? All right. Then to the consent agenda. Would there be a motion for the consent agenda, which encapsulates approval of the June 5, 2025 monthly board meeting minutes and approval of the monthly invoices?
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. All right, next we have under old business, approval of the budget and appropriations ordinance 2025-02. The board held this over from last month when we conducted the budget hearing so that we could install in another trustee. So if there's any input on the budget or if any further discussion needed on the budget from the board?
I have a comment I'd like to make. We do have a new board member, and we've been pretty busy here as board members the past month. I'd like to see if we couldn't push this off till the end of the month and have a meeting at the end of the month sometime to approve the budget, give us a little bit more time to review it.
That is possible. You do have a drop dead date of the 30th of the month to get the budget on file though.
I was gonna abstain from the budget, just because,
Thank you.
I mean, so it's kinda up to you guys, only because
I understand.
less than a day to sink my teeth into it, I don't feel fair to take action on it, so.
So is that the?
That's up to you guys.
Well, if we were to go to the end of the month, would you be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so flavor of the board then to do a special meeting for the budget?
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. So this evening we will reflect no action on the budget and then we will post a special meeting for that item later on this month.
Brad, I thank you for,
All good?
thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, have a good night. Nice to meet you again.
All right, next up is item 7A, new business, discussion and possible election of board officers. Board, now that we have 5 members, you need to elect a board president, a board secretary, and a board treasurer.
I'd like to make a comment before we vote. What was the order in which we're gonna do it?
It's up to the board, but perhaps it makes sense to do it in that order, president, secretary, treasurer.
Personally, I'd like to see Tom Kennedy as the next president of this fire district. Tom is, he's been coming to the board meetings for the last couple of years. He actually showed interest in becoming a trustee recently when there was an opening. He knows the fire district well. He knows how the fire service operates because of his past experience. I personally feel like he's a team player and he'll work well with the rest of the trustees and the staff. He understands the role of the president, and I'm confident he'll properly communicate well with all the trustees, staff, and the public. He's not the kind of guy that it's his way or the highway type of person. I fully support Tom Kennedy for president of Fox River Countryside Fire District for those reasons. So I would like to nominate Tom Kennedy for president of the board.
Okay, so we'll take that as a motion. Okay.
Make a motion.
The motion would be to elect trustee Kennedy as president. Will there be a second to that motion?
Second.
If, you
I'm
please-
sorry, who was that? You seconded yourself?
Who was second?
Kennedy
Trustee
second.
Kennedy.
And if we could please call the roll?
Trustee, am I rotating?
Hmm?
Am I rotating?
Yeah.
Are we
Whatever
closing
order.
nominations?
No, so we have a motion on the floor, and we'll dispense with the
Oh,
motion.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Trustee Kennedy, Trustee Manheim,
No.
Trustee McManus,
Aye.
Trustee Seifert,
No.
Trustee Gaffney.
No.
Okay. Motion fails. Will there be another, motion by a board member to elect the president?
Make a motion for Trustee Gaffney.
All right, so that's a motion by Trustee Seifert to elect Trustee Gaffney as board president. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All right. If we could please call the roll again.
Excuse me, before we move on here, can I make a comment?
Of course.
I'd like to ask a question of, Mr. Manheim here. If I was to decline the presidency, would you be willing to take the presidency if I nominated you?
Yes.
Would you be willing to go along with that, TJ?
I would.
Okay. I'm gonna decline the presidency, and in turn, I'm gonna nominate Mr. Manheim for president. And I need a second, TJ.
Second.
Okay. So we had a motion by Gaffney to elect Manheim as president with Trustee Seifert seconding. Right. If we could please call the roll.
Trustee Manheim,
Yes.
Trustee McManus,
No.
Trustee Seifert,
Yes.
Trustee Gaffney,
Yes. Congratulations.
Trustee Manheim. Okay.
We have an affirmative vote. Mr. President, congratulations. It is officially now your show, but if you would like me to, do you want me to continue to run the meeting, or do you want it?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'll let you off easy this time. So, we still need a secretary. Board, is there a motion for a secretary?
I nominate TJ Seifert.
Motion by Gaffney for Seifert as secretary. Is there a second?
Second.
And is there discussion? Okay.
Trustee Manheim, did you second that?
I did.
Okay. Trustee McManus,
Aye.
Trustee Seifert,
Aye.
Trustee Gaffney,
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy,
Aye.
and Trustee Manheim.
Yes.
Very good. Finally, we need a board treasurer. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll nominate Mr. Gaffney.
Motion by Manheim to elect Gaffney as treasurer. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any discussion? We shall vote.
Trustee Seifert,
Yes.
Trustee Gaffney,
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy,
Yes.
Trustee Manheim,
Yes.
and Trustee McManus.
Yes.
All right. That concludes the items under 7A this evening. On to 7B, and this is your discussion and possible appointment of your financial signer. Traditionally, you will want the board treasurer to be a signer on all accounts. The banking institutions are going to look for that. And then if you would like another signer on there, I believe we currently have 2.
You need to have at least 2.
Yep.
If you want to go beyond 2, you can. It makes it a little bit easier for us in administration. What's going to be the practicality of this is there will be times occasionally when we need a signer or 2 signers, and we have to track you down at a quick notice. What we're looking for is someone that, quite frankly, we can reach when we need them. So if you feel we can manage that with 2, that's great. If you want to put a couple more on that, that's fine too.
We have 2 now.
We have 2 right now.
Trustee Seifert, we have myself, and I'm treasurer now.
Correct.
And we do it through document, the sign. So
I-
I'll stay on if you want me to stay on.
That's for the board to decide, not me, but I would be fine with that. I think the president should probably also be a signer.
Yeah, that's what we did at the school board.
Right.
You do everything DocuSign, is that what you said?
The bank will do all of the signing through DocuSign, and once, I think it's fairly rare that we need a personal signature unless we have to generate a paper check,
Okay.
which happens Occasionally, but not ever.
Okay, I'm usually available most days. I work from home, so available at the computer if I need to send something.
So would it be the three of us? Is that what we're saying? With Trustee Seaver too?
That's the question for the board.
Oh.
I would be fine with that.
Yes. But I mentioned three, that's what I did.
3 cents.
Does that need to be a motion?
Yes, we're gonna make that a motion.
Okay.
Just to make sure we have the line.
Make a motion.
Okay.
I'll
That'd
second
be,
the motion.
and this one we can do all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have a discussion and possible action on promotion of a member to ranking lieutenant. Chief?
So, as I mentioned in my report, Lieutenant Ed McGarry is retiring effective January 25th. We will need to replace him with another lieutenant. I would like the board to approve the promotion of the top member off of the lieutenant's list. That is firefighter paramedic Ted Siaki. I recommend him for promotion, and if the board chooses to do that, I would ask that you make it effective as of August 1st.
Second.
Very good. Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And we have 7D, discussion and possible action on the land contingency sharing.
I'd like to table this because I understand there's been some complication on the contingency, and that land was trying to get it worked out with you and the deputy chief, so.
Yes, I spoke with Ian Lamp today, and there are some questions that I still have. I would not feel comfortable recommending taking action on this tonight, so I would recommend the table.
Well, I make a motion that we table it until the next meeting. Would that be okay?
That would be fine.
Okay, that's my motion.
And technically, you don't need a motion to table it if we don't take any action on it. We just don't take action on it. Perhaps this is something you can tackle at the special meeting where we do the budget as well.
Well, I make a motion, we adjourn.
We have closed session on the agenda, but any need for closed session from anybody?
Yes, personnel.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. Then is there a motion to go into closed session for personnel?
Make a motion.
I'll second that.